Hi cuties! I hope you guys are doing so well. So today I'm going to be giving myself a Polygel pedicure while I answer some of you guys' questions because I was planning on giving myself a pedicure today because I got these really epic Doc Marten platform sandals and now I just want my little toesies to actually look cute so I don't feel like they look ratchet, because usually they just look ratchet, but I kind of want them to look nice so that I can feel cute wearing my sandals, if you know what I'm saying. And I figured I would show you guys how I do it so that you guys could make your own toesies look cute as well for the summer. But I didn't want this entire video to just be looking at my feet because people make that weird. And I legitimately just want to help y'all out by showing you how you can give yourself a pedicure without going and spending hundreds of dollars on it. And I think it's really fun and it doesn't have to be weird. So I figured I would just make this kind of like a Q&A style video. I asked you guys in a community tab post to comment questions that you had for me. And y'all did have some questions that I'm very excited to answer. So I'm just going to be showing you guys the steps of the pedicure while I answer you guys' questions. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so this is going to be a bit difficult for me because obviously I've never filmed doing my toes in this setup and I didn't really want to change my entire filming setup just for this video. So say hello to my toes. But yeah, hopefully you can still hear me because this is how I'm going to be for the parts where I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So I have not had any product on these toes for like since last summer. Like I rarely ever do my toes, to be honest. They're looking really crusty around the cuticle areas and stuff, and I don't really feel like soaking them in warm water to soften up the cuticles and whatever. I'm just gonna be using my e-file with my little cuticle bit, and I'm going to just try to move back the cuticle and get rid of as much dead skin as I possibly can from off of my nail plate, because the cuticle on my toenails is gnarly at the moment. It is literally gnar. But yeah, we're just gonna zoom through that really quick. Y'all, I am literally sweating doing this. Like, I am getting an ab workout. If I was more flexible, this would be so much easier. But I'm probably gonna have to keep my fan on at some points because I'm literally so sweaty. But yeah, also, it is really hard for me to see how much dead skin is actually on my toenails. I can't be that close to my toes, you know? Unlike my fingers, I can hold them right up to my face. I'm not that flexible. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my phone camera and I'm zooming in to my toenails, and I'm not gonna like actually show you guys because they look so crusty. I'm zooming in and I can see so much better that there's like a bunch of cuticle that I did miss. So I'm gonna continue working on that because I do want these toenails to last, because if there is dead skin and cuticle and stuff on your toenails, the pedicure is just gonna like pop off after a few days, which I've had happen before and is very sad. But while I finish up the prep, I think I'm gonna get into answering some questions. So the first question I'm gonna answer is from Vicky M4715, and they asked, what is the best advice you would give yourself 5 years ago? That's a really good question. I'm gonna be looking down here at my toes, so forgive me. Hopefully the filing noises don't get too annoying. I'm sorry. If the filing noises do start annoying you, you can skip to this time, which is when I'm finished filing. If I could go back in time and give advice to my 17-year-old self, I would say, do not let anyone make you give up on your dreams. Also, like, don't do things for other people. Do it for yourself, because this is your life. Because I feel like when I was younger, I would really struggle with the idea of like doing things to make my parents proud and putting my own passions kind of to the side a little bit. Because like my dad, he always wanted us to follow our passions and be happy, but also his like big thing was he wanted us to have stability and like be able to take care of ourselves, obviously. And so I always kind of felt like I needed to become like a scientist or something that makes good money, even though always in my heart I have always wanted to be an artist and a content creator. I've always wanted to make YouTube videos. And it's something that I definitely put to the side for a really, really long time, just up until like the past 2 years, because I was trying to do things to fit other people's idea of what success would be like for me. But in the end, if I had been following my own dreams and my own passions and not being so scared of disappointing other people, I would be so much further, I feel like, than I am now. I'm blabbing, but if I could go back 5 years, that's what I would tell myself, is to figure out what you want in life and make decisions based on that, not what other people want for you, and to just like follow your passions and stop being a people pleaser. Alright, so I cleaned up all of the cuticles to the best of my ability, and I also just took a sanding band and filed the entire surface of my nail. You can also just do the same thing with a regular like buffer or a regular wooden file. You just want to make sure that the whole surface of your nail is rough. So now would be time to put a base gel on, but first I'm gonna size out some tips because I just want to add like the teeniest tiny bit of extension to these, because I mean, look at them. My pinky toenail is basically non-existent. Also, I low-key like filed some of my pinky toenail off. Like, I'm sorry, but I could literally not even see my pinky toenail. So I might have filed it a little bit too much, but it's okay. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to be using these like extra long tips just because they're going to fit my toenails, but obviously I'm going to be clipping them down a lot. So yeah, before I put a base gel on, I just want to size these out really quick. And what's most important is that the biggest size is going to fit my big toe, so they should work perfectly. So I'm just gonna get these all sized out and prepped. But let's see the next question. Some girly jacks asked, when is your children's book coming out? Lol, no pressure. I'll just answer that really quick. I've said multiple times that I would really love to write a children's book in the future, and honestly right now I'm planning on putting my like full effort into YouTube for a while and just like practicing my writing and my sketching a little bit on the side. But yeah, I don't know, I don't want to force anything, I don't want to pressure anything, but I'd say probably like within the next decade, hopefully. But yeah, let me answer another question. Jennifer Ferreira 9061 asked, do you see yourself taking nail clients? I know people would love to get their nails done by you. Aw, thank you, that's so sweet. So if you're new here or you don't know, I am not actually a licensed nail tech. So at the moment, I do not take any clients or anything like that. I'll do like the nails for my friends and family every now and then, but I don't like have a studio or regularly take clients. And honestly, it's not really something that I see myself doing anytime like in the near future. I love doing this. I love doing nail art, and I love making YouTube videos because I just like love making videos, and I also like love art and DIY stuff. Like, I love nail art and I would love to do nails for other people, and I feel like doing nail art for other people and then having them see it and having it make them happy would be something that would be like really fulfilling and really enjoyable. But I also am terrified of messing up someone's nails because I mess up my nails all the time, and it doesn't matter because they're my nails, so it's fine if I mess them up. But so at the moment, it's not something that I really want to do. Just real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and prep these tips using my Apres tip primer as usual. But yeah, becoming a nail tech and like taking clients and having my own little studio is definitely something that I could see myself doing at some point down the line, like just like when I'm ready for something new. Now that all of the tips are prepped, I can go ahead and put my base gel on. I'm just gonna wipe all my nails off with some isopropyl alcohol first, just to make sure that they're very clean and there's no dirt on them or oils or anything like that that would interfere with the adhesion of the gel. And now I'm just going to put a layer of base coat on. Just a nice even layer. It's very hard for me to see what I'm doing and film for y'all at the same time. So if I am getting it on my sidewalls or cuticles, I can just go in with a little micro Q-tip before I cure it and make sure that there's no base gel touching my skin or sidewalls or cuticles anywhere. This base gel, I believe, is HEMA-free, but if your nail product is touching your sidewalls and cuticle and stuff, that can cause it to lift because it can create a little area for moisture and dirt and stuff to get under there. So I'm just gonna take my lamp and I'm gonna take the bottom off of it like this, and I'm gonna give it a cure. And while I put the base gel on my other nails, I'm gonna answer another question. First of all, someone asked, is that Monstera in your room real? I think they're talking about the one on my dresser where all my sweaters are, and yes, it is real, but it is low-key dying because I always forget to water it. Okay, someone else said, price aside, what's your 2 favorite Starbucks orders? That's hard. Some of y'all probably already know this, but I actually used to work at Starbucks, and I have to say that my favorite Starbucks orders is probably like an iced oat milk chai tea latte. So basically an iced oat milk chai latte with 2 shots of espresso in it. And then put some vanilla sweet cream cold foam on top. Delicious. Absolutely scrumptious. And then I'd say my second favorite order would probably be like just like enjoyment wise and like taste wise would probably be a brown sugar oat milk shaken espresso with vanilla sweet cream foam on top and a little bit extra oat milk. But one of my go-to orders is usually just a vanilla sweet cream cold brew because it's packed with caffeine and, you know, it's not very expensive because, you know, once you start adding all the things on top and extra shots and stuff like that, it tends to get very pricey very quick at Starbucks. But, you know, since this question was price aside, I'll stick with those 2 first ones that I mentioned. Oh, and that last question was from Penny for Yours Swatch. Baras8136, sorry if I'm mispronouncing these profile names, asked, what's your favorite music? I love a lot of different music artists, but like I'm really bad at music genres. Like I don't even know what the music genres are, but I'll tell you all some of my favorite artists right now. Grimes, #1 in my heart always. iMonster. I like Melanie Martinez's music. Johnny Cash, for sure. I like to listen to Ash Nico when I'm working out or I'm like angry or something. Lenka, Liana Flores, and Gorillaz. I cannot forget about Gorillaz. I love Gorillaz. But yeah, I think those are the top ones I've been listening to recently. My base gel is all on, so I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm going to try my best to put the tips on, sitting like this, so that you guys can see. I'm gonna grab out my gooseneck lamp, and I'm going to stick it right there. I am sorry for how shaky this setup is. I know it probably feels like you're in an earthquake. I am terribly sorry. I'm gonna be using my nail glue gel from Rosalind, like I usually like to use for my tips. Not because I specifically love this one, but just because it's really thin, so I don't like to use it for anything else other than this. I'm gonna put some nail glue gel on here. Not too much, we really don't need that much. Okay, now I'm gonna turn this on and I'm gonna kind of tilt it away. Actually, I just realized I don't even need to use my gooseneck lamp because I'm gonna have a free hand since I'm doing my nails on my toes right now and not on my hands like usual. So instead, I'm just gonna use my flash curing lamp to flash cure. I'm gonna stick that on and flash cure. Oh my goodness, this looks crazy. This is gonna look so funny when all of them are on. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. Imagine, that is insane. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of them in a position that does not hurt my core so badly. But there are more questions to answer. Riley Does Nails asked, when are you changing your profile picture? Lol. My profile picture has been the same for like the past 1.5 years, and it's just the picture of me with pink hair. Last time I had pink hair, and I haven't had pink hair like that for a while now because y'all know I like to change up my hair and my appearance quite frequently. I feel like that's kind of the reason why I haven't changed it, is because I feel like I change my hairstyle quite frequently, and if I changed my profile picture every time my hairstyle changed, my profile picture would be changing like every couple months. And I feel like it's good to just like not change your profile so frequently. I like the idea of sticking to like one profile picture that people can like easily recognize. I'm always afraid that if I change it, people are like not going to recognize my YouTube channel. I don't know. I feel like that picture with the pink hair just like really captures my vibe and my channel well, like since the beginning. So I don't know when I'm gonna change it. To be honest, I'll probably just end up changing it whenever I have a really good picture that I feel like changing it to. There's been a few times where I've almost changed it, but then I'm like, I didn't like the picture, and I just feel like this profile picture that I have right now is so perfect. So yeah. Y'all, what the heck? Do you see this? These look absolutely insane. These look crazy. Imagine if I was going to keep them this length. Ooh, they feel so weird. Okay, sorry. Obviously, I'm gonna cut them down, but before I do that, I'm gonna give them a full 60-second cure. Okay, now that they're all fully cured on there, I am going to chop off a large majority of this length. And I'm gonna perfect it with some filing, so don't worry. I'm cutting it a bit longer than I'm gonna have it at the end because I know that I want to do some filing, and I know some of these are looking pretty crooked, so I want to have some room to like work with. All right, so I'm gonna take my wooden file and I'm going to file them like this, and we're just gonna speed through that because I don't want y'all to have to listen to the filing noises. The tips look so much better now that they're all filed, but of course I will still do some filing after I apply the polygel as well. So yeah, if they need to be any shorter or anything like that, I'll take care of that when I do that. But as of now, I think that they're looking really good. So now I'm just gonna take my e-file again with my little mini mandrel bit. And I'm going to rough up the entire tip and nail bed and just like make sure that everything looks nice and flush. And once I'm done with that, we'll get back to the questions because I don't want you guys to have to hear all the filing noises. Alright, so I filed everything up, and I also actually went to my bathtub and washed off all of like the dust and everything. So now we have a nice shape and a nice length to start off with for the polygel. I'm just going to give everything another wipe really quick, and then also go in with a base gel over everything one more time just to make sure none of the polygel peels off the tip or anything like that. Okay, and I might as well answer another question while I finish putting on this base gel. Penny for your swatch also asked, can I give the cat some scratches? And yes, of course you can give her some scratches. She would love that. And if you have no idea to what I'm referring to, it's because on the community tab post that I posted asking you guys to give me questions, I included a picture of Arwen and Junie when we took them to the park, and they were so adorable. They were like all snuggled up in a towel because they were like really nervous because they don't go out into public areas like that very often, but they're still very young, and we kind of want to get them used to going out for walks and stuff because we want to bring them places with us. So we want them to get like familiar with going out to the park and stuff. Sierra Dougie 8559 asked, what do you think is the kindest thing you've done for someone? I feel like those questions, like what is the nicest thing you've done, or like what is the hardest thing you've done, or like, you know, stuff like that are always so difficult for me to answer because I'm like, first of all, I don't have a very good memory, so I feel like I'm gonna say something and then later I'm gonna think, oh man, I should have said this instead. But I do remember this one Christmas, I was in 8th grade, I decided to paint a painting for each of my teachers. So I think at that time I had 5 different teachers for like the 5 different classes that I was taking, and I basically just painted like an acrylic painting of, it was kind of like a night sky silhouette type painting with a silhouette of like a deer or a polar bear. Every painting was a little different, and I gave it to each one of my teachers, and I remember they were so happy, and a lot of them hung it on their wall. But I remember my 8th grade science teacher, he was so sweet. He told me like after winter break, he was like, thank you so much for the painting. I hung it in my dining room, and that made me so happy just to think like my teacher has my painting hanging in his dining room. I don't know, I guess that was a pretty nice thing to do, is like taking the time to paint paintings for each of my teachers. So I think that's what I'll go with. But you know, obviously I try my best to be a nice person. I'm probably not the nicest person, but I remember in middle school, a lot of people used to always tell me, Anne, you're too nice, because I was like very like a people pleaser. But nowadays I try not to be like that. Like I don't let people take advantage of me anymore. Okay, it's finally time to get into the Polygel. So the Polygel that I'm going to be using today is this one from McCart in the color Rosemary. I don't know why, but I'm kind of obsessed with the color green right now. This green is just like the most beautiful shade of green that I have ever seen. Also, I'm sorry, my dad is working on like some construction outside, so if those noises make their way into this video, I'm sorry about that. But look at this color. Are you joking me? This is so beautiful. This is like my favorite green color. My favorite color used to be green. It's kind of pink now, but honestly, it always switches between like green, pink, and purple. So right now I feel like it's this green color. Like this green is so beautiful. So yeah, this is what we're going to be using. And as usual, I'm just going to be using some 91% isopropyl alcohol as my slip solution. Definitely going to need to get a refill of this soon. And for my brush, I'm just going to be using this round oval brush. Let's get down to business. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to squeeze out a bead of Polygel onto my nail like so. And I'm going to dip my brush into the isopropyl alcohol. And I'm going to start patting the Polygel around to shape it out into the shape of a nail. Something that I kind of tested out doing in my last video where I did Polygel, but I didn't really like say anything about it, was I sprayed the entire nail with isopropyl alcohol just so there was like a nice thin layer of isopropyl alcohol over everything, and I feel like that helps a lot with the stickiness and like pushing it around. So yeah, look at how beautiful this green color is. Are you kidding me? Like that is so insanely beautiful. Oh, bro, that's unfortunate. It was bound to happen. Okay, while I struggle to shape out this nail, I'm gonna answer another question. Loveline119 asked a two-part question. So the first part is a silly question. If you could have an exotic animal as a pet, which animal would you have? Panda bear. Panda bear. I have always loved pandas. They're so cuddly, they're so sweet, and they're vegetarian. They're awesome. Anyway, so definitely a panda bear. And the second part is a serious question, which is, do you feel like creating content has made it so you can't do the nails that you want, but the nails / products you think will do well with your audience? Or has it had no impact on your nail sets? That's a very thoughtful question. And I also said, thank you so much for being the best. No, you guys are the best. You guys are the reason I can do this, so thank y'all for being here and being the best. And happy Pride to anyone who reads. Yes, that's right. It's the month of June now, so happy Pride, everyone. So yeah, that's a really good question. So like as a nail content creator, most of the time I am creating videos based on, is there like a new product that people want to see, or is there like a PR package that I got that I need to make content with, or what is my audience going to want to watch? So yeah, all of that definitely plays a big part in what I do end up filming. So yeah, if I wasn't creating content and like making videos, a lot of the times I probably would just be lazy and honestly just end up with nails that were like extra long stiletto with like cat eye gel and like a couple rhinestones. But I feel like since I do create content, it's constantly pushing me to go outside of my comfort box and create something with something new that maybe I wouldn't have tried if I wasn't making a video, or maybe like create nail art that I think is going to make people want to keep watching, even though maybe it takes a lot longer and I wouldn't usually want to like sit there for that long. And I think that even if I wasn't a content creator, I definitely would create like the kinds of nail art that I do create now. It's just I wouldn't create them as often, for sure. So basically, to answer your question, sometimes I feel like that, but most of the time, no, because usually I figure out a way to use whatever product that I'm testing out to create the kind of nails that I'm feeling like wearing. And also like experimenting and using new products and doing product reviews and stuff. I get like a lot of inspiration from that, not using the same supplies all the time. So I feel like it makes me create better art. Ouch. My back. Okay, I think that definitely looks pretty good. I gave it a full cure. Obviously, I'm gonna do a bit of filing because it does look lumpy and bumpy, but I feel like the shape is there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add this green polygel to all of them now, but in a position that is not killing my back. I am going to need to do some serious stretches after this. On to more questions. Catherine Marrero 9165 said, "Hi cutie, have you ever had anything spooky happen to you?" Yes. I mean, where do I even begin, honestly? I haven't had anything spooky happen like recently, but when I was younger, a lot of spooky things happened to me. Honestly, I think that the house that we used to live in when I was younger was haunted because not only did spooky things happen to me there, but it happened to literally everybody else in the household. My sister, brother, mom, and dad all experienced creepy things happen there. And I was really little when I lived there. Like, we moved out of that house when I was like 6, like 5 or 6. So I don't remember everything super well. I remember one night I went into my room and there was like a silhouette of a man like creeping away. You know those closets that have like a door, like a sliding door, and it was all white. It wasn't a mirror. It was like a wooden white sliding door situation for the closet. It was like there was a man in my room, but I couldn't see him. All I could see was like the shadow on my closet. And I remember just like seeing it and being like, and then walking out of my room and going to find my mom. So yeah, that. And then something really creepy happened to my mom and dad. Actually, like something similar happened to both of them on 2 different occasions. First, my mom, one night she woke up and she saw me sitting on the end of her bed, like it was dark. And she thought she saw me, like the shadow of me basically, like the silhouette of me next to my dad. And she looked at me and she was like, "Annie, are you okay?" And I just sat there. So then she was like, "Okay." And I don't remember if I'm remembering the story perfectly, but basically she turned around and then I was like standing on the other side of her bed. And she kept trying to talk to me like, "Annie, are you okay?" And then I don't remember what she said happened. I just like walked away. But then she woke my dad up and she said, "Can you go check on Annie? She was just like in our room and I don't know if she needs something." So then my dad goes over to me and my sister's bedroom at the time when we were little, and we were both like fast asleep. I don't know. I could have been sleepwalking. I could have very well been sleepwalking. My aunt and uncle used to come to stay over with us at that house. My aunt was like in our guest room at night. She said that she heard my mom calling for her. So she went out to the kitchen and said, she was like, "Oh, were you calling for me?" And my mom was like, "No, no one was calling for you." So that was creepy. But I haven't even gotten to the creepiest thing. The scariest thing that has ever happened to me was actually in the house that we live in now. I was like at least like 11 years old. And honestly, to this day, I don't even know if it was like demonic or if it was like an undiagnosed ADHD child brain having like a psychotic episode of some sort. So one night, I woke up because, have you ever experienced like when you're asleep but you're dreaming and then you start hearing something, like maybe your alarm clock starts going off and you hear it in your dream, like your alarm clock is going off in your dream and you can't make it stop, and then you wake up and your alarm clock is going off in real life. It was kind of like that. Like in my dream, I could hear somebody calling my name and it like wasn't stopping. So eventually I like woke up completely, and like basically everyone who I tell this story to always asks me, "Are you sure you weren't like still asleep? Are you sure you were completely awake?" And I'm like, bruh, I know the difference between being half asleep and dreaming. and sitting in my bed sweating and being scared out of my mind, okay? Like, I promise you, I was completely awake, okay? And let me continue the story. So basically, I wake up and I still hear somebody calling my name. It's like a soft whisper almost coming from our hallway. So me and my sister, we used to share a room that's actually across from the room I'm in right now, because this used to be my little brother's room, but he has his own room now. He moved into the spare room. Yeah, so basically back then though, we used to share a room and there's a hallway outside of the room, right? So it sounded like it was coming from the hallway. Someone was whispering my name. And so I heard it, and obviously I was absolutely terrified. Like, have you ever been scared and like just like tried to put yourself as close to being in the center of your bed as possible because you're afraid something's gonna like come out and grab you? That's how I felt. I was literally clamped tight in the middle of my bed, sweating. I could like hear my heartbeat. It just kept like whispering my name, like calling my name, like a whisper from the hallway. And I looked over at my sister and I was like, Shannon, and nothing, no movement, nothing. And my sister's bed was right across from mine. We had like twin beds. So then my brother's room was across from our room, and my brother was really little at that time. So my mom used to like stay in his room until he fell asleep. So when my sister didn't say anything, I started calling out, like, you know, when you're little and you're like, Mom, like from your room when you get scared. I did that once and there was no answer. And when I did that, the voice started getting louder and angrier. Like, now it wasn't just whispering my name, it was like yelling my name. It was like angry. And it sounded like it was getting closer, like to my room and louder. So I was getting really scared, and it said my mom's name again, like louder. I was like, Mom? I heard her. She was in my brother's room and she said, Annie, go to sleep. And I was like, oh no. And after I called her name the second time, legit, it started like yelling even louder and like angrier. Now there was like a background noise. There was like screaming and screeches. Like, it sounded like people were being tortured in agony, like in the background of this thing screaming at me. It sounded like what I would imagine like the depths of hell to sound like. Like, it was really scary. And I was like so terrified. I had no idea what else to do, so I literally just screamed at the top of my lungs. And then my sister woke up, my mom and dad both rushed into my room and turned on the light at the same time, and I was like so terrified out of my mind. I did not know what to do. I just started saying the people, and I was like just crying and saying the people. And my dad came in my room and he realized there wasn't like anybody crawling through the window and I wasn't like in any apparent danger, so he was just like, oh man. And then he just like left. He assumed I had like a bad dream or something. But my mom came and she was like, oh my goodness, what happened? Because my mom, she also believes in the spirit realm, and she believes everything that we told her happened to us when we were little. And I'm so thankful for my mom that she actually believed us, and that she was never like the typical moms in horror movies where when scary things are happening to their children, they're just like, ghosts aren't real. That was a time when I got yelled at by some demons. No, I'm kidding. No, but yeah, that was like the most terrifying thing that like was spooky that ever happened to me that I still can't quite explain. Nothing like that has ever happened since. And honestly, I don't even like talking about it because I feel like whenever you talk about these things, it like kind of like invites scary things to happen. So I'm just gonna go pray now. But I'm curious, if you do believe me that it happened, like what is your theory about it? Like, what do you think it was? Like, do you think it was something just like psychological inside of my head? Or do you think there was something else at play there? Okay, all of the Polygel is on. Finally, my back hurts so much right now, you guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I need to file these up a bit. I'm just going to use the same mini mandrel band that I showed you guys before. I'm gonna do all that off camera, and I'm gonna go do some back stretches because I'm in pain, and then I'll be back because there's a little bit of nail art that I would like to do, so don't go anywhere. Look how adorable this cup is. Are you joking me? Yes. Oh, that's so cold. Are you guys ready to see how beautiful they look after they've been filed? I mean, yes, they're looking pretty crusty. They are. They're crusty dusty at the moment. I love this color so much. It is so beautiful. They shaped out so nicely, and literally, like this pinky toenail, like you literally would never have even thought that I had a non-existent pinky toenail because I basically just created one for myself. And these are so strong. Some people have a misconception that polygel is not as strong as acrylic, but actually polygel is stronger than acrylic. Are we done here though? No. No. I haven't even told you what my inspiration for these nails are. It's probably already in the thumbnail, but this right here is my beautiful inspiration that I found on Pinterest. This like Y2K style is so beautiful, and I am going to try my best to find the artist who creates this work because they always have the most beautiful Y2K nail designs. I just love how many details they were able to fit into tiny little toenails. So I want to try my best to encapsulate that in this set as well. So first of all, the nails in the inspo have like a split kind of diagonal down the middle. And I think I want to use this blue color for that kind of like split down the middle because this blue color is so beautiful. And look, it's a line art gel. So it already has like the perfect line brush for creating like the diagonal down the middle, and I feel like this blue color will complement the green really, really well. So yeah, this is a Vetsy liner gel, but first I am going to go ahead and put a quick base gel on just so we have a nice smooth surface to do some nail art and stuff on. If you get gel like traveling into your cuticles and sidewalls a lot, make sure to flash cure your nails as you go. So while I'm working on the line art, I'm going to answer another question. So N Dulgar asked, what are your plans for your hair in the future? So right now my plan is basically just to grow out my natural hair as long as I can, and then if and when I do get it bleached again in the future, I will most definitely be going to a professional hairstylist to get it bleached, because like bleaching it myself is just so much work and it causes me so much stress. So yeah, so I definitely think that I will want to go back to coloring it in the future. If not all blonde, then maybe I'll get like colored highlights or something and do something fun with it. But yeah, like constantly having to keep up with bleaching my roots all the time and changing different colors is like so much work and so damaging to my hair, honestly. But I do really love having fun colored hair, and honestly I am loving this haircut that I have right now. So in the future I'll probably end up dyeing it whenever I get tired of having long hair, because then I'll just be like, okay, I'm tired of my hair how it is, because I always tend to get bored of my hair at some point. So I'm like, I'll be like, okay, I might as well just bleach it and have fun with the colors, and then whenever I'm done I'll just chop it off again. And the cycle will continue. So basically it's like a cycle, you know? So there's how all of the lines turned out. So in the reference picture, there are a couple little like star glitter sequins on the nails on like the lower part. So I'm gonna do that too. But instead of using like the sort of like see-through iridescent, I'm gonna use these silver hollow stars that are the exact same shape, but just a different reflection in color. I'm just gonna pour some into this little tray so that it makes it easier to pick them up. These are so pretty. And I'm just gonna use some rhinestone glue gel to put those on. This is my favorite rhinestone glue gel to use. It's my Ivy Fix Gel. You guys have probably seen it a million times by now. I'm gonna pick up some rhinestone glue gel and I'm just gonna put it wherever I think I'm gonna put the sequins. And I'm gonna pick up some little glitters. Put one like right here and get a little small one. Actually, we could probably fit 3 on this one. In the reference, there are some like different kinds of sequins, but I think I'm just gonna stick to the stars, to be honest, because I like the stars. They're pretty cute. I'm gonna cure that. Let's see what question I can answer while I put on the rest of them now. Shelby Baby 1642 asked, is there one particular set / technique / design you want to try, but you feel daunted by or need something specialized for? Yes, and that would be the detachable nail trend. That trend just like scares me a little bit. And I know that people want me to try it, but yeah. Anyway, their second question is, when you started, did you expect to be a comfort YouTuber or a person people sleep to? I know you get a lot of those comments, from me included. Also, did you expect your YouTube community to be as kind as they are? If not, what did you expect? And how did people in your personal life react to you being a full-fledged YouTuber? That's a loaded question, but it's a really good question. I am someone who like has a lot of comfort YouTubers. Like I think one of the reasons I wanted to be a YouTuber is because since I was like in middle school, I have been watching YouTube as comfort. I just always love having YouTube on the background whenever I was crafting or drawing or anything like that. All my favorite YouTubers are comfort YouTubers to me, you know? For some reason, I never like thought of myself as being somebody's comfort YouTuber. I just kind of like wanted to make videos that were fun to watch, you know? Because like I have fun making videos, you know? Like I have fun watching them back through and like editing them. Yeah, but like the fact that a lot of people find my videos comforting like is just like so fulfilling to me and means absolutely so much to me to know that like I can be a comfort YouTuber for people. Like I don't know, it's just so special to me and I love it so much. I personally like do not have a lot of friends in physical life. I don't like to say in real life because you guys are real life. Like you're real people. And just because it's like a meta doesn't mean it's not real, because it definitely is real in our today's day and age. And you guys are like definitely my friends. You guys are my meta friends or whatever. I don't have a lot of like in-person friends that I do things with. I basically just like hang out with my boyfriend and my family and like my siblings, and like my mom and sister are like my best friends and my boyfriend. And then like I watch YouTubers and they feel like my like meta friends, you know? To know that I could be that for some of you guys is really special to me, and it makes me so happy. And then the second part of the second question was, did you expect your YouTube community to be as kind as they are? No, I did not expect to get so much love. Like even when other people read my comments, they're always like the first comment, they're always like, oh my goodness, your subscribers are so nice to you. And I'm like, I know, right? I'm so blessed. They're the sweetest. I love them so much. I think a lot of people are like this when they're thinking about like starting a YouTube channel. A lot of people are afraid of like the hate comments. I was like that. Like when I started, I was bracing myself for the hate comments. And then when I got so many sweet, nice, encouraging comments, it was so surprising to me. Like I wasn't prepared for it. Like you guys are really the reason why I post so many videos and why I put so much effort into them, because not only do I love it, but you guys always are motivating me to like keep posting because I just love you guys. But yeah, anyway. And then the third part to the second question was, how did people in your personal life react to you being a full-fledged YouTuber? When I first started, like a lot of people just thought like, oh, that's like a cool like side hobby, you know? Or like, oh wow, that's like really neat. Wow, you have a lot of subscribers. That's really good type of thing. I don't know, like nobody ever reacts really like crazy or anything. Sometimes like when I was in school and I would tell like I had to do so many group projects, and if the subject came up somehow, usually I didn't really like to like tell people that I had a YouTube channel unless they were like my close friend. But if it did come up and I was like, oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel, and they realized like I had like a pretty good size following on YouTube, they were like, oh my goodness, wow, that's really cool. I didn't realize like we were in the presence of a famous person. But but yeah, I don't see myself as like famous or anything like that. I don't know. Like I still feel like we have like this really like nice, close-knit, homey channel on YouTube. Also, I feel like today, like in today's society, having an online following is not something like super new and crazy and unique. The response is usually like, oh, that's really cool. Wow, that's really nice. Like, that's cool, you know? But so yeah. And then the subject moves on to something else. Let me give these glitters a full cure. Okay, while I wait for the glitters to cure on, Leo asked, is Gel X/nail tip glue safe from Temu? And is solid nail glue easy to remove? Wanting to do my nails somewhat safely and good, but still somewhat cheap. That's kind of a difficult question. I'd say in general, they are safe. I would make sure to use only the ones that are like HEMA free. Try to find like brands that are more well-known, that people have tried and had experience with, so that you know that they're safe. Don't just use like a no-name brand that you've never heard of before, especially if you can't see the ingredients that are in it. And for the second part of the question, solid nail glue gel, it really depends on the brand that you're using, because I've used some solid nail glue gels that are so easy to remove, and I've used other ones that have totally destroyed my e-file bits because they're like a rubbery texture and they're impossible impossible to file off. But the Born Pretty Solid Nail Glue Gel, I've used that one a lot before as well, and that one doesn't ruin my e-file when I try to file it off, and it's pretty easy to file off as well. I was gonna use like the transparent AB rhinestones, but now I'm kind of feeling like the silver ones would match better with the star rhinestones, like if I used the silver AB rhinestones. So actually, let me see if I can find those. I did find my silver AB rhinestones, which are going to be perfect, but I also realized I want to add some of these stickers onto the nails before we go in with the rhinestones, because it's going to be a lot easier to put the stickers on before the rhinestones, just in case the rhinestones overlap a little bit. There's just going to be like a lot more room for the stickers if we do it now. These stickers, I feel like these stickers are going to make the set. Like, they're gonna be so cute. So there's a few questions left to answer, so let me just answer while I put the stickers on. Marty Manglares 2129 asked, what would be the worst nail set you can think of, and where do you see your channel in 2 years? Love your videos, girly. Thank you. I think like the most disturbing nail set that I could think of would probably be like one that had actual like real hair, like long real hair coming out of the tips. Like, imagine like hair on your nails. Imagine trying to go to like eat food with your hands or something. Me, like, imagine like eating sushi and like the nail hair just like getting into the sauce. Like, that just sounds disgusting. It just sounds so unhygienic and nasty, and I feel like it would drive me insane. Absolutely grody. Anyway, and also where I see my channel in 2 years, I don't know. I see myself always doing nail content, so I think in 2 years I will still be doing nail content, maybe mixed in with some more vlogs, because I'm hoping to be moved out of my parents' house by then. So I feel like I'll have more freedom to like film in my own space. So I think just like more nail art content and vlogs mixed in, maybe some like art videos mixed in as well. Who knows? We'll just see where life takes us, you know? We're on this journey together, aren't we? Yes, we are. Those stickers literally brought these nails from like a 3 to an 100, in my opinion. Like, they're so cute. I cannot wait to put the rhinestones on. So I'm actually gonna put a base coat over the sticker layer first, because I really want to lock in the stickers, especially because these are on my toenails and my feet are gonna be like in flip-flops and sandals. They're gonna be in shoes. I don't want the stickers to start peeling up, especially because some of them are hanging a bit over the free edge and I had to cut them with my cuticle nipper. So yeah, putting an extra base coat layer over them is just gonna make sure that they do not start lifting. Okay, so I'm gonna grab out my Ivy Fix Gel again. And I'm gonna use the same brush to apply it, just because I do want to apply a good amount of the rhinestone glue gel, because I don't want them to pop off, especially because these are on my toesies. So there's more of a chance of them banging into things, if you know what I mean. And I'm going to take out my rhinestones. And then I'm going to put the rhinestones on where in the middle they start a little bit bigger and then they get smaller as they go towards the outside. And I'm going to try really, really, really hard not to kick all of my rhinestones off of my desk, because I can see that happening and would be tragic. You know what? I should probably put these like away from my foot. A better idea. Oh my goodness, that worked so perfect. That is so cute. Oh my goodness, I love my big toe. My big toe has never looked so fabulous in my entire life. Not lying. Not lying. I'm gonna give that a flash cure. Wait, let me make sure they're all like semi-straight. It's okay if they're not perfect. I mean, they're on my toes. I'm sure nobody's gonna look that close at them. So I'm just gonna give that a cure. Okay, I really want to try my best to answer all of you guys' questions, so I'm going to answer a couple more while I finish up the rhinestones. Cookie Dough 7243 asks, do you think longer, more extra nails and nail designs like junk nails, kawaii charms are coming back into style, or do you think this simpler almond glazed donut nail era we're in right now is going to stay for a while? You know, I don't know if I would be the best person to answer that question, honestly, because because even though I'm like a nail content creator, I am horrible at keeping up with like the current trends. I basically just do kind of whatever style I feel like doing, which as y'all know is usually like the extra kawaii junk type style. I don't know, I don't think I'm like a very trendy person. Like if I see something that's trending and I like it, I will incorporate it into like my style, but I'm really not good at like keeping an eye on and like paying attention to what is trending and what isn't. So Stitches by Sharon H. I'm somewhat new to your channel, so I apologize if everyone else knows this, but I was curious. I know you said you were in college. What is your major? And do you work besides YouTube? What are your plans for after you graduate? Thanks in advance. Yeah, so I have mentioned it before on my YouTube channel, but it's totally fine. And this will be good to add in for anybody who's new, just as like a Q&A video. So yeah, I did just finish my education for my bachelor's degree. So I have a bachelor's of science in cognitive science, and I specialized in design and user interaction. So basically I have a design degree, but it's also like a cognitive science degree, if you've ever heard of cognitive science. I basically just like to describe the degree as like learning how people's minds work and interact with reality and the world around them so that you can better make things that can be utilized by people effectively. And as of right now, I'm not planning on going into like the corporate world and getting a job at a company or anything like that. I feel like it's helped a lot just as being like a creative, artistic person as well, because a lot of my education, especially in the first 2 years, was in speculative design, which is a visual arts major. So I do have like a visual arts background as well. But yeah, my plan at the moment is to dedicate the next year to my YouTube channel. And if by the end of the year I'm not making enough money to like actually like comfortably support myself and stuff like that, because I could support myself living on my own with my YouTube channel right now, it just would be a little difficult. So thankfully I do live at home with my parents and they're happy to have me living at home with them. But yeah, at the end of the year, if my YouTube channel hasn't grown like I'm hoping it will, then I will start exploring the job market in like the cognitive science / design field. Something that I'm really interested in is working with special needs people or people who are disabled to make things more accessible for them and make things easier for them, because I feel like there's a lot of things in our society and our world that are just not made for people with disabilities and special needs. And with like the small amount of disabilities that I have, I like experience those struggles, and I feel so bad, like deeply in my heart, for those people who have struggles that are so hard because of the way our society is built for neurotypical people and people without disabilities. So if I could find a job in that sort of field, then that would be really great. Yeah. I think there's like a tiny moth flying around my room right now, so if you see that, just don't mind it. Anyway, finally, it is time to put the top coat on. My spine is rejoicing that we are almost finished, literally. Anyway, I'm just going to be using my Zombie King top coat from Sweetie Nail Supply. I love this top coat. And oh my goodness, look at how cute they're turning out. I'm gonna top coat all of the rhinestones as well. Usually if you want the rhinestones to stay looking super duper sparkly, you want to avoid top coating them, but I'm going to top coat them today because it will just lessen the chance of them popping off because they'll be like secured in the top coat. And they're done! Oh my goodness. I don't think I'm gonna be able to wear like closed-toed shoes for the next few weeks. Because how could I possibly cover these up with socks? Like, no. Of course, I will show you guys how they look outside and in my new sandals that I was telling you about. I know they're gonna look so beautiful in the sunlight outside in like flip-flops. I'm so excited. Anyway, cuties, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Also, thank you to all of you guys who asked me questions. I hope that the Q&A portion made this video a little bit more entertaining than just looking at my toes. Yeah, anyway, if you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up before you leave. It helps me out so much and I really appreciate it. I hope that you're having the most amazing day, night, week, life. Sleep well if you're going to sleep, cutie. I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye! Mwah.